Welcome everyone to the International South Asian Film Festival of Canada. My name is Manu Sandhu and I am the producer of the festival for the last 10 years. Before we begin, I just want to address that we are on the unceded territories of the Coast Salish peoples. Each year, September 30th marks the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. The day honors the children who never returned home from the survivors of the residential schools, as well as the families and the communities. ISAF is a testament to the collective efforts of the community that believes in the power of South Asian narratives. Our theme this year is Crossroads, to celebrate South Asian cinema and cultural as a hub and a place where many crossroad interests. A special mention to our platinum sponsor, RBC, gold sponsors, Admi Group, Allure, Creative BC, Canada Media Fund, Telefilms, Kwantlen Polytechnical University, City of Surrey, Warner Brothers Access. We are here for the screening of a highly acclaimed feature film, Dear Jassi, written and directed by Tarsem Singh. We are also proud to present our short film titled First Place, directed by Kabir. Kabir, unfortunately, was not able to attend, but we have two of his films playing in the theater in this festival this year. Dear Jassi is based on a tragic true events that took place really close here in Surrey for us. It is a very important film for us to screen today. We are requesting everyone to not take any videos or any photos in this screening. It will be highly respectful if you can watch the movie. It's also because of distribution, so the director has requested us that there's no filming of the movie itself, and we'll really appreciate your help. And Pavia will be here, who's the actress, and you will be able to get to hear from her, and Gurpreet Gurwal will be doing a Q&A with her. I hope you get to see this film. I know there's people that relate to this film really closely along with me. When I grew up, we heard this story, so it's a very important piece for us. And I hope we take some insight, some closure from this movie itself. Thank you.
My name is Pulkit. I'm the artistic director of ISAF. I'm actually just here to introduce our moderator for tonight. She will be having a discussion with Pavia, who is the lead actress in the film that you just saw. So I'm going to introduce Gurpreet Gurwal. She's an actor and host of Red FM, and she will be moderating the discussion for you tonight.
Thank you so much, Pulkit. I don't even know where to start right now because I feel like the story, everyone knew about the story, correct? Did everybody know about the story locally that was here, that's sitting here watching? Yeah? But isn't it different to know about something and to visually see it? It hits different, doesn't it? Imagine being there. Imagine being Jassi. Imagine being all the characters that you just saw. But it's actually happening. And I don't think this has happened once. I think it's happened many times. And I think ਏਦਾਂ ਕਈ stories ਹੈਗੀਆਂ that happen, but they never get told. And I think it's a remarkable job, I think Tarsem Singh did, and the whole team did of putting this together. Because even me, I was standing here watching, I'm like, yeah, I've heard of the story, I know what it's about. And then when you see it and the details, and khas karke jadon all those little things come out, the dialogue of how, just speaking to her own mother, and I'm pretty sure, most of us are moms here, and you imagine your own kid, your own daughter wanting help, and the mom just refuses. I think everyone, I know I need a moment after watching this, and I'm pretty sure you guys do too, but I am excited to be here, and I would like to welcome the actress who did such an amazing job and everything. I think we were able to feel what she felt. Please, guys, give it up for Pavia Sidhu. And right now, I know I have a lot of questions, but first off, I do want to say, I do need a moment. Yeah. Does everyone need a moment? Yes. Does anyone want to take a moment? Yeah, we'll take a moment.
We'll take moments of silence for Jassi.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. And girls like her.
Women, yes,
Yeah,
women overall in the world who are
Yeah.
facing this. Let's take a moment of silence.
All right. Pavia, welcome to Vancouver, first of all.
Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. I know you're probably feeling it.
It's definitely a heavy film, and I know as an actress, the emotions you portrayed. First off, I want to ask is, did you know the story prior to accepting or reading the script?
No, I did not.
Okay, so when you got the script and you realized that this script has to do with an event that actually took place, what was going through your mind?
Initially, when I started out, I was younger than I am now, but I'm definitely quite young. And the script going into it, my process was acting. My process was understanding the character. So I focused on that. There's so many profound effects to it that I find out later and later as I keep growing older. And also understanding the world around me. It's taken time for me to fully comprehend it. It's been a balancing act. I think I didn't understand it as well as I do now, which is unfortunate, but I think that's part of life. I think as you get older, as you get wiser and you learn from what you've experienced or things you've seen, or even learning about stories like these, there's a different perspective that you gain. And I didn't have that initially, I think. I had the perspective I had, and over time, through this movie and through the process, I feel for it deeply, and I feel for women in general. And I mean, I'm such a fan of women and what we do for each other and the backbones we are for our community and what we mean to each other and the women that have helped me in my life. And so to see that and to focus on that, that's a beautiful thing as well.
Absolutely. And how do you feel that, once the script came to you and you realized the character and the story, did you at any moment hesitate to take this role on?
I think in anything you do, there's hesitation. In anything you do, there are moments where and I mean, I believe in God. I believe in the grace of God, I believe in the mercy of God, and I also believe in God's plan. So I do move forward with that, and that gives me the strength, because technically I don't have any strength. I don't have the principles, and I think those values are, again, gained over time. So I think there are moments where you have to realize certain points, but I think there's also a support system that I have, and my mom is one of those really brave people that just keeps you pushing, keeps you going, that that has led, I also blame it on her, by the way, this, a credit or blame, whichever it is. So I do give it to her, so I did have a support system that led me to this point, but I know what this means for our community, and I know that's taking on something. But I have people in my family that have championed women's rights. And my grandpa, who's here, my Nanaji, he's been a champion of women's rights. He's been a champion of me. As a first daughter, he treated me like a son. And for me, that means more to me. My Punjabi is I don't know, they're pretty bad in hearing, but for that, to have those values, having grown up in those values, there's a special place in my heart for that. And sometimes it has, I don't know, you kind of move through, you push forward.
Yeah, no, very well said. Do you feel that after this whole project came together and audiences are watching it, and I think there's a lot of people who have a lot of sentimental value with the story itself, do you feel that as your portrayal of Jassi in this film, do you feel that there was anything that was, you feel like you should have done different, or you feel that, I was able to get across what I wanted to as an actor?
Well, let me ask you, because you're the audience and that you're the one watching it, so I wouldn't know what that entails. I've talked to people, and again, you also try your best. I mean, this is an actor's job. What can you do? This is a complete different human being. I mean, that is the job. You're playing someone, but you're also playing someone real, so that is the actor's job. And I did that, and I've had years in training. I've had years of working in sets, taking initiative, so I bring that to the table. I bring my experience in acting to the table, and that's all I can do, and that's what I did. But this is a depiction of it. Again, this is not a documentary, so you have to realize that and move forward that way. And I hope that there's more of all women.
Yes.
More of so many stories out there, so many stories that we can honor, and even celebrating our religion and our culture. So there's so many stories out there that we can depict, and that's part of storytelling.
And throughout your journey in the film, do you feel that with the director, how was your relationship with the director, Tarsem, as far as guiding you on the role and, walking you through the emotions or walking you through how he wanted things? Because I know he's very particular. Tarsem, that's one thing. I've watched quite a few of his films, so he is a particular director. So how was it like working with him on set?
Yeah, I love working in teams. I love working with people. I'm a people person. I didn't know this when I was growing up, so it was weird. But I definitely like that experience. And it's so many people on set, so many people in a project. This is an art project, but there's such a community around it. Crew, cast, the leaders that are on set. So there's such a community around it, and you work with everyone in a way in that sense. So to have that collaboration, it felt like a gift. Again, I really love being in a team and love supporting other team members, supporting it as we move towards this goal. And that's not just in this project, but in life, how we can support each other as I don't know what the end goal of life is, that is another topic altogether, but how we can support each other and move forward, and to have that gift of someone's guidance, someone's wisdom, it's massive, and I enjoy being able to work around those people.
And when you started with the role of Jassi and then moving in, halfway through the filming, did you at any point feel that there was a particular type of direction given and you felt like, no, you know what, you want to play it a different way? Were you able to have that creative freedom to explore it?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting question. I haven't really thought about that. I don't know if there's a point where I felt that, but I did. When I take something, I like to make it my own. I don't know if that is art.
Yes.
That is
yes.
part of art, a part of your soul. I believe in the idea of soul, and I believe that there's a connection to art in that way, so I definitely feel you can't not bring yourself. So I think throughout the process, I felt that, and I brought that to the table.
And do you feel that the story, the character, or any moments in this entire project, did you feel a little bit where, you know what, I can relate to this at any moment in the entire film?
Yeah, not anything now. During the filming, there's being a Punjabi woman. I come years later, but being a Punjabi woman in that era, I think I can relate to experiences that I've heard from my family members. And I can also relate being a Punjabi woman in general, what that's like, but also being a woman. So there's so many situations I think we can relate on.
Yes.
There's so many situations that we can all relate on. Growing up in Canada, there's so many, and there's I've mentioned this before in another place, but also the psyche of love. You can relate to that, and you can relate to the psyche of, there are many elements, so it's part of art. So there's so many, and even courage, I think you can find ways to do that. I definitely did. There's not moments I can pinpoint, because again, it's a process, and sometimes the process isn't necessarily super clear. You're in it, So I can't pinpoint one exactly, but I feel like we can all relate to something.
Something about the movie. And did you, prior to filming this, because I know some parts have been shot in India, some were done abroad, have you been to Punjab prior to the filming?
Yes, I have, but this was a long, long time since I've been, and I really loved it. It's like, it's the roots, you're the people there, the collaboration there, and gosh, it sounds like I came back with a different perspective, but I really did. I think I came with a different perspective, and as you move on in life, as you carry yourself through life, your mind and your body, you gain knowledge, you gain experiences, you gain perspectives. And I definitely feel like India is one of those places where you can definitely find something there, find something for your soul, even being enlightened in a different way. So I definitely felt that. In terms of even women, and you see, I even got to be family there, and you realize what womanhood is. I've already mentioned this, but you also see that kinship, that the thing in our Punjabi blood as women that we hold, and you just have it there, and you see it, and you always carry it.
And one thing that I really absolutely loved is you're Punjabi in the film. Yeah, I actually liked it. It was like, it felt like, especially nowadays, it's how we talk. It's how like I would talk if I'm, walking down or chit-chatting with my friends. So was that at all a barrier for you in the film? Or was it just like you spoke Punjabi at home, so you knew a little bit, so it wasn't that difficult?
Yeah, like I said, there's some things like I couldn't relate to, which means I think of, I guess, I mean, working, studying, you develop a life outside of Punjabi. You come home and you speak Punjabi, but then you have a whole nother, like the way we're talking now.
Yeah.
So I think it's in you somewhere, but sometimes when you don't use it so often, it's going back to that place. So I think that's what it was, going back to, okay, this is me speaking Punjabi and not me being what I am usually or what I'm used to right now. So I think in terms of that, I think it wasn't, I guess acting in Punjabi is a different thing. That was a little different for me, and there's so many barriers, and you have to learn to face those challenges that comes with the territory. So I embraced it for sure.
How did you feel when you watched this entire project complete? And as an audience member, you sat in that seat and you yourself watched everything come together. What was going through your mind at that moment?
I mean, I think the experience of doing the work and acting and watching it was vastly different. Because you see it as it's put together, you see it as a story, whereas when you're working, you see the vision, and that's in your head. So I think there's differences there. Again, it affects, I think, people and audiences differently. But I because of me acting in it, or maybe me doing work on it, other cast members acting in it, I think that it's a different experience altogether. So I don't know what the audience, I really don't know, because I couldn't know, right? So I think there's probably a different impact, I imagine.
And do you feel like, as everyone's watched this film here today, is there anything that you, in portraying Jassi, and being the actress of this film, is there anything you want everyone here to walk away with today? Do you feel that there is something in your mind that you're saying, you know what, when everyone watches this movie, I want each and every person to walk out of the theater feeling this, or knowing something, or wanting something?
Yeah, I've actually had this question before, and I really should have thought of an answer. I've had this question before. But when I think about this, I don't actually want anyone to walk away in a certain perspective, because I want people to walk away with whatever they can relate to.
Mm-hmm.
And however they can understand it. I mean, there's women here, there's men here, there's so many different, I actually can't see many people, so I don't particularly know what's the composition, but I feel that you have to relate it to your way, and maybe I think of it like the way I see it, how I want to make a difference, and how I see it in a specific way. I see it in how can this be better for women. And I take my own background, my own experiences, and I shape it in that form, and how I want to lead in the future, how I want to use my principles, and how I've used my own values. We all have a different value system, so how can we correlate that to our own value system and move forward in that way? Again, it is a movie, and we move on with our lives, right? That's such a part of life, but there are pieces of art, there are pieces of articles. There's something that can definitely take and make a little bit of a dent in there. And even if it doesn't, it's something you move forward with. So I guess I would want people to take away whatever affects their soul the most and move forward with that. And I do hope to see that women continue, and everything continues to find that there's more equality, there's more sense of how can we all love each other.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know what? If it was up to me, I can sit here hours and hours and hours and just talk to you and ask you lots and lots of questions. But I know we're restricted for time, and I think we will have a couple of, we'll be able to answer 2 audience questions. Just make sure that any question that anyone has, it's just pertaining to, the acting or the film directly itself. So is there any audience members that would like to ask any questions? We have 2 people here. Okay.
ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਜੀ।
ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ।
ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਐਕਟਿੰਗ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ ਲੱਗੀ ਤੇ 90% ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਲਾਕਾਰ ਸੀਗੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਜਾਣਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀਗਾ ਤੇ 5 ਤੋਂ 10% ਸੀਗੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪੁਰਾਣੇ ਸੀ, ਪਰ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਕੰਮ ਇੰਨਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਵਧੀਆ ਲੱਗਾ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਟਾਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਚੱਲੀ, ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਐਕਟਿੰਗ ਤੇ ਡਾਇਰੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਵਧੀਆ ਲੱਗੀ। ਤੇ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਵਧੀਆ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਚੀਜ਼ ਉਹ ਲੱਗੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਘਰਦਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਘਰੇ ਲੜਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਜੀ, ਤੂੰ ਵਿਆਹ ਕਰ ਲਿਆ, ਉਹ ਕਰ ਲਿਆ। ਉਹ ਇਦਾਂ ਦੀ ਫੀਲਿੰਗ ਸੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਨਾਰਮਲ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਦੇ ਘਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹ ਪੈਂਦੀ ਹੈ। ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਇਹ ਫਿਲਮ ਦੇਵ ਖਰੋੜ ਵੀ ਬਣਾਵੇ, ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਣ ਸਕਦੀ ਜੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਰ ਲਈ ਹੈ।
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions?
I do want to add to that, that actually the fact that it's related to reality, that is what the goal is. So the fact that it's correlated to what the experience is of all of us today as Punjabi children, that is an important part.
Hey, I was gonna ask, for you and the gentleman that played the main actor, how did your guys' conversations go with the director and like amongst yourselves as far as developing your guys' relationship like in the film and trying to understand these characters and kind of work through what that journey was like throughout the film?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of conversations. I mean, I guess it's you take it step by step. It's all building blocks. It's incremental growth from there. And again, like I said, it was a collaboration. It was all working as a team. The conversations are centered on sometimes, I mean, this is probably not the right answer, but they are centered on blocking, or which they're not very, they're kind of technical conversations most of the time. So it was a lot of that. And then you bring what you can to the table. So I brought the sense that I understood and played as the character. So you bring that to the table, and then a lot of them were technical, but I guess technicality leads to the process of creating art also. So it shaped together in a perfect way.
Thank you.
Of course.
Do we have time for another one? Okay, I have time. We have time for one more question.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Yes.
What was your brief like for that airplane scene? You know, when you're sad but you're trying to be happy, what did your director tell you to do? Like, what were you thinking? Like, what were you thinking during that scene?
Like what
You know,
direction
yeah.
she was given? Yeah.
Exactly.
Like what did Tarsem say? Like how he wanted you to portray that scene?
Yeah, I think that one I actually went in and just did it. I don't really remember. A lot of it was, I mean, I took bold steps, not going to lie. But also I've had years, I mean, of course, you guys, I'm a new face, but I've had years of training and acting, experiences on set, on the backs, but also good experiences on set, theater, so I bring that to the table, and so I had that, and I brought that. I think for that one, we didn't have a conversation. I went off the script, of course, right, so I did use the script for that, and gosh, I want to answer your question better, but it's also such a long time ago, and I want to say the truth, and I just can't. The truth is that I just kind of, I went in, and that was part of it. My thought process, I don't necessarily know. My thought process was, again, taking in the circumstances, taking in what that experience would be like. And of course, what the script told me. But I think there is a sense of putting on a brave face. From what I remember from that scene, it's putting on a brave face, and we have to do that all the time. As women, but I don't want to just exclude that experience as women. We have to do that in general, everyone, putting on that brave face, and I think I brought that. I brought what it means to be going through pain, but then being like, it's okay, let's move forward, let's try. Yeah, I think that was my thought process. Or maybe that was my thought process now. I can't even remember what I thought back then, to be honest.
Whatever it was phenomenal. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Pavia, I think that's all the time we have. But I want to thank you so much, and I think you did an absolutely remarkable job. And I do want to thank the audience for being a part of this, and I hope. I mean, there's so much to say. Like, I hope you guys do walk out of here thinking that, you know what, there's so much that happens. And I definitely want to thank ISAF. I mean, ਇੱਕ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹਾ ਪਲੇਟਫਾਰਮ ਹੈਗਾ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੀਆਂ ਫਿਲਮਾਂ ਸ਼ੋਕੇਸ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਸਾਡੀ ਐਵਰੀਡੇ ਲਾਈਫ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ I think you can only find that on platforms like this, not commercialized. So thank you guys so much, and I want to thank ISAF so much. Thank you guys.
Thank you.